Here is a review of the key concepts of photosynthesis. In plants, photosynthesis is used to convert light energy from sunlight into chemical energy, glucose. Carbon dioxide, water, and light are used to make glucose, oxygen, and water. Photosynthesis is not a single chemical reaction, but rather a set of chemical reactions. The overall reaction is carbon dioxide plus water plus light equals glucose plus oxygen. The reactions of photosynthesis can be categorized as light-dependent reactions and light-independent reactions. Chlorophyll is a key molecule for photosynthesis. There are 4 types of chlorophyll, A, B, C, and D. In plants, chlorophyll is found in a special structure, which is called the chloroplast. The reactions for photosynthesis take place in different areas of the chloroplast. The chloroplast has 3 membranes, inner membrane, outer membrane, and thylakoid membrane, and is divided into 3 compartments, stroma, thylakoid space, inner membrane space. Dark reactions occur in the stroma. Light reactions occur in the thylakoid membranes. In plants, photosynthesis usually occurs in leaves. This is where plants can get the raw materials for photosynthesis all in one convenient location. Carbon dioxide and oxygen enter/exit the leaves through the pores called the stomata. Water is delivered to the leaves from the roots through a vascular system. The chlorophyll in the chloroplasts inside the leaf cells absorb sunlight. The process of photosynthesis is divided into 2 main parts, light-dependent reactions and light-independent or dark reactions. The light-dependent reactions happen when solar energy is captured to make a molecule called ATP. The dark reaction happens when the ATP is used to make glucose in the Calvin cycle. The light-independent reactions produce carbohydrates by using ATP and NADH that was formed from the light-dependent reactions. Not all wavelengths of light are absorbed during photosynthesis. Green, the color of most plants, is actually the color that is reflected. Excited electrons from photosystem 1 can use an electron transport chain to reduce oxidized P700. This sets up a proton gradient, which can generate ATP. The end result of this looping electron flow, called cyclic phosphorylation, is the generation of ATP and P700. Excited electrons from photosystem 1 could flow down a different electron transport chain to produce NAPDH, which is used to synthesize carbohydrates. This is a non-cyclic pathway in which P700 is reduced by an excited electron from photosystem 2. An excited electron from photosystem 2 flows down an electron transport chain from excited P680 to the oxidized form of P700, creating a proton gradient between the stroma and the thylakoids that generate ATP. The net result of this reaction is called non-cyclic phosphorylation. Photophosphorylation. Water contributes the electron that is needed to regenerate the reduced P680. Dark reactions don't require light, but they aren't inhibited by it. For most plants, the dark reactions take place during daytime. The dark reaction occurs in the stroma of the chloroplasts. This reaction is called carbon fixation, or the Calvin cycle. In this reaction, carbon dioxide is converted into sugar using ATP and NADPH. Carbon dioxide is combined with a 5-carbon sugar to form a 6-carbon sugar. The 6-carbon sugar is broken into 2 sugar molecules, glucose and fructose, which can be used to make sucrose. When the stomata are closed, the plants may start photorespiration. Plants called C4 plants maintain high levels of carbon dioxide inside cells to make glucose to help avoid photorespiration. C4 plants produce carbohydrates more efficiently than normal C3 plants, provided that the carbon dioxide is limiting and sufficient light is available to support this reaction. In moderate temperatures, too much of an energy burden is placed on the plants to make the C4 strategy work. C4 plants thrive in hot, dry climates. During cellular respiration, one glucose molecule is gradually broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Along the way, some ATP is produced directly in the reactions that transform glucose, but much more is produced through oxidative phosphorylation, which is powered by the movement of electrons through the electron transport chain. There are 4 stages of cellular respiration. 1. Glycolysis. In glycolysis, glucose undergoes a series of chemical transformations and is ultimately converted into 2 molecules of pyruvate, a 3-carbon organic molecule. In these reactions, ATP is made and NAD+ is reduced to NADH. 2. Pyruvate oxidation. The pyruvate from glycolysis goes into the mitochondrial matrix. There, it's converted into a 2-carbon molecule bound to coenzyme A, acetyl-CoA. Carbon dioxide is released and NADH is generated. 3. Citric acid cycle. The acetyl-CoA made in the last step combines with 4-carbon molecule and goes through the cycle of reactions, ultimately regenerating the 4-carbon starting molecule. ATP, NADH, and FADH2 are produced and carbon dioxide is released. 4. Oxidative phosphorylation. The NADH and FADH2 made in other steps deposit their electrons in the electron transport chain. As electrons move down the chain, energy is released and used to pump protons out of the matrix, forming a gradient. Protons flow back into the matrix through an enzyme called ATP synthase, making ATP. At the end of the electron transport chain, oxygen accepts electrons and takes up protons to form water. Glycolysis can take place without oxygen in a process called fermentation. The other 3 stages of cellular respiration, pyruvate oxidation, the citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation, require oxygen in order to occur. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are connected through an important relationship. This relationship enables life to survive as we know it. The products of one process are the reactants of the other. Notice that the equation for cellular respiration is the direct opposite of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis makes the glucose that is used in cellular respiration to make ATP. The glucose is then turned back into carbon dioxide, which is used in photosynthesis. While water is broken down to form oxygen during photosynthesis, in cellular respiration, oxygen is combined with hydrogen to form water.